All right, make a wish. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Wish something, whatever.
My passion for hip-hop came from my relationship with my dad. He was a DJ and producer growing up, so I've always had that passion and that connection with my dad. And so when he passed away in 2005, that's when I really that was the way that hip-hop was the way that I connected with him. I just looked at hip-hop to help me through it. So that's where it really turned into a real passion. My purpose for Hip Hop Makes Me Feel was to educate people about hip hop and to make sure that I put hip hop in a positive light, and that's still the purpose of it. Just because we see hip hop literally everywhere we go, and sometimes I think people misrepresent hip hop, so I want people to know what hip hop is, what it stands for, so that they can have a better understanding of it.
Hip Hop Makes Me Feel is a movement focused on changing the image of hip hop in a positive way. This movement consists of educating others about the culture of hip hop by visiting schools around the Carolinas.
We started only going to Winthrop, which is our school, and now we've went to so many different schools like Clemson and Wofford, and just reaching a lot more people.
So in November and December, I was marketing for spring semester. So I would just send out emails to Office of Diversity at different schools. Since I'm a Delta, I reached out to other chapters. I reached out to almost all the schools that are in North Carolina and South Carolina. But then the schools that I actually get booked by are schools that they heard about me. I think the biggest shock I've ever had was when I had my second program at Winthrop, and there was 300 people there, and that was over capacity. I went outside to let everybody know that was waiting, and I'm just thinking it's going to be a couple people, and then there's 100 more people waiting to get inside, and I was wow. And I like to say hip hop is a culture, so we have to educate ourselves about these cultures that we see all the time. In order for you to be able to communicate with other people, you have to know about other cultures. So, and not just knowing that they're there, but educating yourself on what they think is wrong, what they think is right, what they believe in, so that you don't offend anybody. It's not like you're walking on eggshells or anything, but you just need to know, just so that you are aware. When I first started this, I guess I kind of went into it just I'm touching the African American culture, but there's when I have programs at Winthrop, it may be majority white students that come, and it's amazing because I think that they leave with a better understanding. We talked about using the N-word in rap, and I think that them actually being in that conversation and white students actually speaking about it too, made them kind of feel more comfortable too, and being able to talk about it. And we were just we all listen, if we all like hip hop, then we can talk about it no matter what our race is. So I think that did make a difference.
What's better than tripping is falling in love. What's better than Letterman, Leno, Fallon, and all the above? What's better than popping bottles, trying to ball in a club? Is the first caveman pops with his son ball in a club. What's better than
I do think it's important to be educated about hip hop, because hip hop is it's a part of American culture, especially a part of African American culture, something that people use to generate a lot of positivity and happiness. So, and I think people have a lot of misconceptions about it, so being educated on it is definitely important. Whether people like it or not, I think people need to learn about other cultures, because America is obviously mixed of a variety of cultures, and that's what makes America America.
I think that hip hop does play an important role in the times today. It kind of speaks on issues of race relations, and it's a way for people to express their political views if that's the way they see fit.
Alisha actually spoke about political rap once at one of her events, and she really just talked about how there's a stigma on rap music and hip hop, and basically if you just listen to the lyrics, it really helps people that don't have a voice listen to it and are I'm not alone, they're speaking for me, and it just brings everyone together and just shows that hey, there's a difference to be made. Alisha has a lot of amazing qualities that make this foundation so great. She's very passionate. Again, you can really tell she's in love with hip hop. When she talks, she tells you why she fell in love with hip hop and how. And she really cares about educating other people at these events, and she loves the input, and I feel like these educate her to what people say.
I'm literally just doing what I love to do, and like I'm not thinking of it as like, oh, I have to do this to like make money. Like the money will come and it may not, and it may blow up and it may like crash, but like I just have to make sure that I stay authentic and like make sure that I keep the passion, and that's all that matters.